If you're after a performance-oriented exhaust with tolerable volume at a great price for your 2007 to 2013 4.8-liter powered Silverado 1500, then the MBRP Armor-Lite single-side exit setup is going to be just your speed. This offers some of the best sound you can get for your money, and it gives your truck a solid injection of attitude, but keeps the volume level tolerable for the day-to-day. Now on our loudness meter, we're going to be giving this one a 3 out of 5. So if you want outright loud volume, this is probably not your system. However, if tone, livability, and affordability are important to you, this one is worth a serious look. I have been saying for years that MBRP exhausts give you the best sound you can get for the best price, and this system is no exception. In fact, I actually run an older version of this system on my own Suburban and have for years. It's always sounded great and it's held up remarkably well. And that all just substantiates my stance on these exhausts. This one is a full 3-inch catback, so it's going to replace your factory mufflers and resonators, leaving you with just this one canister style muffler. Now this is MBRP's street profile, so it is more on the quiet side as compared to a lot of exhausts for these trucks. Now MBRP describes this one as aggressive, but I'd say that's not entirely accurate. This does do a really good job of giving you more volume without going overboard, and as you heard from the clips at the start of the video, it really isn't super loud, but it gives the Vortec V8 that deeper, rumblier tone that's befitting a small block Chevy engine. It's not going to absolutely wail or anything, but you will get that characteristic burble at idle, and it will just sing a bit more loud and proud as the revs climb. Now even though this one isn't too loud on the outside, it does still mean that you will get some noise inside of the cabin, but it's not intrusive at all. You get a nice low rumble at idle, and you hear some actual good exhaust noise when you stomp the go pedal. It's a great choice for a daily driven truck because you can enjoy it without it getting on your nerves. And with the big old muffler here, there is quite a bit of baffling inside, so it's going to keep unwanted noise and unpleasant frequencies at bay, so there's no drone. So this muffler and the 3-inch diameter piping means that this will flow better than your stock exhaust as well. And if your engine can breathe better, that means you may notice some more power and better response too. Now we're not talking huge numbers, these are not hugely powerful engines to begin with, and we're also not going to be testing this one on the dyno, but it is worth noting because better flow is always a good thing when it comes to an engine. Now this system does exit in the same location as your stock exhaust, just behind the passenger side rear wheel. And while it doesn't include a tip, that makes it a bit more of a stealthy option. There really won't be any tip off until you start it up, and if you do want to add a tip later, you've always got the flexibility to do so. The system is made from 3-inch mandrel bent aluminized steel. Now this material is really well suited to a truck that lives in a dry climate. So if you live in the desert or your truck doesn't see a ton of snow, rain, or especially salt, this is going to serve you quite well. And as I said, I have run basically the predecessor to this system on my own Suburban here in the Northeast for the last 4-ish years, and it's actually held up remarkably well. This is also the value proposition, as this material saves you a considerable amount of money versus a T409 or T304 stainless setup. And that brings us nicely to the pricing, which might just be the best part here, as this setup is only going to run you about $400. And that makes this one of the most affordable options out there for these trucks. And really, I can't say much more than it's a killer price for a killer sound. Installation is going to get a 2 out of 3 on our difficulty meter, and the job should take you around 2 hours to complete. Now this is of course designed to be a bolt-on part, and it doesn't require you to make any modifications to the truck itself. It's going to utilize your factory exhaust hanger locations, and it's going to just bolt right on up. Now exhaust can be a bit finicky just because space under your truck is tight if you're not working on a lift. But fear not, this is definitely a job that you can tackle at home, and we are going to walk you through the process right now. So for that, let's head on out to the shop.
For this install, you need your 3/8 impact, a 14 and 13 millimeter socket, exhaust hanger tool, and also not shown be a lift and pull jack. All right, today we're going to be putting exhaust on our Silverado. First, we're going to watch a quick video how to install a stock system, then we'll come back here to install the new one.
It's going to start with this 13 millimeter clamp holding our factory cat back to the cat pipe right here. Grab your 13 socket and loosen that guy up. All right, we don't really need the sockets anymore. We're just gonna switch over to a hanger removal tool, which I definitely recommend. Pry bar works as well. This is just a little bit easier. We have a bunch of hangers we need to pop out of some isolators. So grab your hanger tool or something similar, and you're gonna basically pry these guys out. Lubricating the hangers definitely goes a long way to make things easier. For that, you can use WD-40 or PB Blaster or something similar, just to help it slide out easy. All right, so now we can move down the line and get the next two. All right, for this next step, I have a pull jack underneath of our muffler supporting it. We're gonna pop off the hanger right above the muffler, really right over the axle too. Grab your hanger tool and pop that guy off. Having that pole jack or floor jack definitely helped give it some stability there. All right, for this next one, you want to be careful because this is the last piece holding this guy up, so it's going to get pretty loose and wobbly. Once you pop this out, you can take the entire exhaust off all in one piece. All right, so this may be easier with a helping hand if you have a friend on deck to give you a hand doing this, but it can be done by yourself. Just make sure you're being careful because it is still all one piece.
So we're gonna get started by putting our new exhaust on. Now our front pipe, we actually don't need to cut ours since we have an extended cab and 6.6 foot bed. You may need to cut yours. We're just gonna slide this over. We have our factory clamp up here. We're just gonna leave everything loose for right now, but you will see this isolator here. We're going to slide our one clamp that has our hanger on it on the ends, and then just put that into our isolator. Let that rest on our pole jack for now until we can get our muffler on. We're gonna get our muffler on. You'll see I have one of our U-bolt clamps on the end of our muffler. Just make sure you can read the logo from outside the truck. We're just gonna slide this over our front pipe. Then we can just slide our pole jack down to help hold that up. At the back of our muffler here, we're just gonna slide on another one of our U-bolt clamps. Next, we're gonna grab our over the axle pipe. You'll see two hangers. We're gonna go on our factory isolators here and here. We're gonna go into our muffler first and then get those in place. You may need to adjust how far the muffler is in. Last, we have our tailpipe to get on. We have our last clamp on there, and then we're gonna get our hanger into our factory isolator right there. Get that slid over and in there like that. Now we can go ahead and start tightening our clamps, starting from the front, working our way back. So we're gonna start at the front here. We're gonna grab our impact and 13mm socket and tighten our factory clamp down. So we have our hanger here. We're just gonna tighten that clamp down. Now all the clamps from now on are 14mm sockets. So we have our impact at 14. We'll tighten this one down. So we'll tighten our clamp at the front of the muffler here. Then we have our clamp at the back of the muffler. And then lastly, we just have our clamp here for our tailpipe. And that wraps up our install of our MBRP Armor Light single exhaust system with the side exit for our 2007 to 13 4.8 liter Silverado 1500. And remember, for everything Silverado, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.